If you've got 5 minutes to spare and need a refresher on the Game of Thrones saga, here's a quick breakdown of everything that happened in Season 5. Then, you can bask in the warm embrace of the Lord of Light. Just beware of some very NSFW, HBO, TVMA, OMG content ahead.
Let's find a brothel.
Season 5 opens with Cersei dreaming about a witch's prophecy claiming she'll one day lose everything she holds dear. That prophecy seems to be coming true as Cersei is mourning the deaths of both Tywin and Joffrey and cursing the name of her brother Tyrion. Making matters worse, Cersei is losing influence over her 2 surviving children. Tommen, never the brightest bulb in the Lannister basket, is infatuated with his new bride Margaery, while Myrcella is in Dornish custody, just hating it. And with Prince Oberyn's paramour, Alleria Sand, reuniting the Sand Snakes and promising vengeance against King's Landing, that's a dangerous situation. Cersei solves the first problem by sending Jaime and Bronn to Dorne to rescue Myrcella. As for Tommen, she tries to use the rise of a fanatical new religious sect called the Sparrows to her advantage. At first, this works, as Loras is arrested for homosexuality and Margaery for perjury. Unfortunately, Cersei is given a taste of her own medicine when she too is arrested by the Sparrows for all that crazy Lannister incest. After plenty of psychological and physical torture, Cersei finally confesses and is subjected to the Westerosi Walk of Shame. To add insult to injury, Myrcella is released by Prince Doran only to be poisoned to death by the Sand Snakes shortly after. Cersei's one piece of good news is that the twisted Qyburn has managed to turn dying asshole Gregor the Mountain Clegane into a zombie-like asshole Nameless Enforcer. Not that things are going so well for most of the other power players of Westeros and Essos. Daenerys deals with a rebellion of her own in the form of masked assassins called the Sons of the Harpy. One attack claims the life of the old but still badass Ser Barristan Selmy and leaves Grey Worm seriously wounded. Tyrion and Varys make their way south to throw their lot in with Dany, only for the disgraced Ser Jorah to kidnap Tyrion in an attempt to win back Dany's favor. It sort of works, but not before Jorah is infected with the terminal disease known as Grayscale, and Dany finds herself stranded in Dothraki territory after being ditched by one of her dragons. Arya makes her way to Braavos and is accepted into the House of Black and White. However, she struggles with the challenge of leaving her past behind and truly becoming no one. And this total jerk is not helping. Ow! Arya is given an assassination mission by Jaqen H'ghar only to go off script when she spots Meryn Trant. Even though she is able to cross a name off her kill list as punishment for betraying the Faceless Men, Jaqen commits suicide and Arya is struck blind, which doesn't seem fair. But it's Game of Thrones. When has anything been fair? Sansa is having an even worse time in Season 5. Littlefinger uses her as a pawn in his schemes, marrying her off to Ramsay Bolton, who jumps all the way to the top of the Game of Thrones most disgusting charts. Sansa's marriage to the super gross Ramsay is about as terrible as could be expected. Luckily, the guilt-ridden Theon finally comes to his senses and helps her escape Winterfell. Farther north at the Wall, Jon Snow refuses to join forces with Stannis Baratheon, sacrificing his chance to become Master of Winterfell in favor of being elected Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Not everyone is thrilled at his promotion, fearing their new leader is too sympathetic to the wildlings. Jon brokers a peace with Tormund Giantsbane and heads north to Hardhome. There, he and his fellow Rangers face a devastating White Walker attack. Battered and defeated, the survivors can only look on as their dead comrades are revived by the triumphant Night King. It is spooky. Stannis' short-lived attempt to conquer the North ends in failure, as Ramsay Bolton proves a far craftier foe. Faced with mounting losses and mass desertions, Stannis sees no choice but to let Melisandre sacrifice his daughter Shireen to the Lord of Light, which, in addition to not working, moves Stannis to the top of the disgusting chart. But it's only for a short time. After his armies are crushed by the Boltons, Stannis himself is killed by Brienne, who finally avenges her original master Renly, and puts Ramsay Bolton back on top. Or bottom, depending on how you look at it. That's the chaos the weary Jon Snow comes home to at the end of the season. With Maester Aemon dead and Sam sent away to train to replace him, Jon's list of allies is growing precariously thin. That becomes painfully clear when he's assassinated by his own men, and even more clear when they leave him to bleed out in the cold winter night. And clearer still when that's the last thing we see in Season 5. For more Game of Thrones, check out Season 4 in 5 minutes and Cinefix's 3 brilliant moments from the Battle of the Bastards. And as always, be sure to subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.